Let's now get into a conversation with the Minister for Regional Reorganization and Development, the Honourable Dan Kweku Botwe. Chief, thank you very much. Most grateful for your time.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you. You pulled off the creation of 6 new regions, named the capitals. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Was it tough?
I did not name the capitals. Mr. President named the capitals.
Yes. But was it tough?
Well, certainly. It's a new area. We've never had a ministry or a government on using the constitution to pursue this program. So, like, you go into a ministry, you have new people, you haven't worked before. There's no existing, structure, file, something that you can, as it were, rely on. So you have to create everything, start talking to people. So challenging but interesting.
I see, interesting. Now we've gone past the hurdle of creating the regions, naming the regional capitals. We have some ministers acting instead at that point. The next point is to look at development. And that's been a clarion call of everybody that, look, how do we make sure that the primary objective of creating these regions, which is development, is achieved? What's your plan?
Well, yes, Mr. President named the Ministry of Regional Reorganization and Development. So obviously people have been asking, if you finish the reorganization, then development. Right. So obviously, in our budget for this year, which we started preparing last year, we put together in consultation with others. First, we knew that if they succeeded in the 6 regions, by succeeded means qualifying by the 50% turnout and the 80%, and assuming we had all the 6 qualifying, therefore there will be an establishment of 6 new regions. So we interacted with the local government service. Okay. They handle the decentralized departments. So we interacted with them that first you need to have the establishment in all these 6 regions. So in your budget, make sure you take care of it and cater for it and start, planning towards it. These are new regions. You will have to second people to take care of the regional administration, regional coordinating council, and all that. So we started that process, and you need that structure to pursue any developmental agenda. So we started that, and after the elections, in fact, this week today we are continuing our discussions with them. Then again, we also put up a consultation with National Development, the Ministry of Planning, some short, medium to long term. Regions are created. How did they start functioning? Where did this go and all that? Of course, the difficulty of not knowing the capitals and therefore being very careful about it meant that you could not go around looking for structures or spaces where you may build because you didn't know where the capital would be. So that action was not a bad. We had the immediate things that you have to do to the medium term. Then more importantly, after the elections, Mr. President on 3rd or 4th of January set up this ministerial team he talked about during the inauguration, and asked us to give me the immediate plans, something that should let people know that with all these aspirations and with all this enthusiasm that have been met, what will make them feel that yes, we have achieved our long-held desire, and this is the reason why we can feel it. So immediate developmental plans. So that has been put up. Okay. But it's only fair that we should wait for the regional coordinating council to be set up, because that comprises district chief executives, presiding members of the assemblies, and chiefs from the area will come. In addition to this establishment that I'm talking of, the new regional minister, they'll put before them that, the National Development Planning Commission have done some work. District Ministry of Planning, Dr. Jambo Alfred, is meeting with my ministry to try to, as it were, go through some of these initial plans that people made. So when those things are done, then we'll sit with the new regional administration setup, because it's only fair that they also go through. We met some of the district chief executives during the campaign time. We are not involved in the campaign, but it drew their attention. They should come with their coordinating directors. In case you succeed, what are the plans you have? First as a district, and then we consolidate it. What about 2 or 3 major things that you think that, in addition to what is being done in your districts, you have done your program, their budget, their plans already. But there should be 2 or 3 things maybe that will capture the real desires.
And the RCC will have to look at that
yes,
to deal with.
So since we didn't have the RCCs,
Okay.
we got the district assemblies to start thinking about these things.
Okay.
And then when the RCC are there, because they are part of the RCC,
absolutely,
then we'll consolidate.
An integral part of it. Yeah. Interesting that the choice of regional capitals came with a lot of ethnic, if you like, dimensions. Yeah. Have we been able to, after we selected the 6, been able to rally the people around one flag so that they can forge forward? Have we been able to do that?
I think so. In actual fact, a lot have been done. We anticipated it, right from 2017. And in actual fact, if you visited me today in my office, I'll show you files that had application or petition for regional capital in 2017.
Wow.
Yes.
People were yearning for it.
Yes, 2017. That's even before the Justice Commission finished their work.
Wow.
As whether they will qualify or even the commission will recommend that their petition should be accepted. People apply for capital. Yes.
So you anticipated this?
Anticipated, and we started working towards it. In actual fact, it got to a time we had to a bit, I don't know what the right word to use, but we had meetings with them and said, look, no discussion of capitals. Any attempt by anybody to start Joseph for capital, we will not entertain that. And therefore our petition will not, it don't have our involvement in it. And the chiefs themselves met. Fortunately, this thing was all spearheaded by the chiefs. So we met and there were serious discussions about that.
There are calls for...
And they knew it. They knew, they have ideas which some of the places should be and all that. And they met among themselves. And I really, really thank the chiefs because they said no, under no circumstance are we going to get this capital thing as were disturb the unity we've had. Yes. And many of them, I can, in 1 or 2 places, they actually met. It's easy to, maybe now that it's over, we can talk about it. 2 places. The one in the northeastern Savannah. The structure of the chieftaincy.
Right. Social anthropology, etc.
And they have overlaws, you know. So when they meet and do these things, I mean, there's one main overlord, one main king, who is easier to get people to follow. The unfortunate thing that happened in Salaga is so unfortunate and so sad because...
Did you anticipate that too?
No, because you see, they were one of the people who were so organized in their structure, in their campaigning structure, very well organized. They got people to lead it. They had different departments of their campaign. They copied my office. Director of campaign program, director of this educational program, agriculture. They had all these things in place. And in that structure, to break down all this, which we were so grateful with, there was no partisanship approach in their desire. They have a committee. You said this is an NDC secretary here, NPP secretary, PPP. They are fundraising committee. You have NPP treasurer, NDC treasurer, and they work together.
So it was a wild mix of everybody.
Very wild mix. And they have an overlord. And after they campaigned their results, they all met in Damango Senior High School. They said, I thank all of you, the way you have worked for us to get this thing, and thank them, dissolve the campaign committees. They now should have committees that will help them in their developmental agenda. And they actually set committees.
Let's talk about...
so it shouldn't have happened. There was all the chiefs in the kingdom met, all the opinion leaders met, and they actually discussed their capital. They openly did it. And there was consensus.
So they chose their capital.
So it's just an purely isolated by some disgruntled, youth.
Let's talk about the allocation of 20 million to develop. What went into it? What went into the calculation to decide that let's give them 20 million?
Oh no, that was Minister of Finance, but that's where the key word is seed. So it's seed money.
Yeah, seed money.
It's seed money.
But what went into calculation?
Oh sure, in the budget, in the allocation of all ministries submit their budget plans. If I'm sure you may know, the ministries submit their plans and it's about 50 million, you get 30 million. You don't get all that you need. But the important is that they have to take off. That today they've been set up. There should be some what do you call it? They have to look for accommodation. How do they get it? They have to get some furniture, they have to get many things, they have to send people around. There should be some seed capital for any organization to take off. So that is it. So I don't think that is going to be used for their whole, to implement the whole developmental agenda. Else, Mr. President wouldn't have set up this ministerial committee to come out with what you call immediate developmental plans.
What do you say to those who think that, look, your work is done, you have done a fantastic job, you should, your ministry should be collapsed because there's the Ministry of Planning, the Ministry of Special Initiative, Business Development, there's the Ministry of Local Government. I mean, there's there are a lot more ministries that could possibly handle this. And so now that you have done it, you should go to other duties. And
so we are discussing it now. I will tell you that as of today, last night I was on the phone with the regional minister for Northern Region.
Okay.
No, discussing some of the immediate things that should be done. We have to now go back to the regions and talk. We have been working with them, we've been talking for the past 2 years, and it's easier for you to continue with them to discuss all their plans. And I've told you earlier on that we asked for their developmental plans from the districts,
right,
and now have to find a way to consolidate it. And what we have already done, we have submitted the plan Mr. President requested, gave us 2 weeks. It's ready.
Right.
We have to go back and see how we interface with them. So there's still work to be done towards the development. That's why the ministry was creating regional reorganization and development.
So your work is not ended yet?
Well, the work is not ended because we have the development aspect to pursue, and I think we are quite clear what we want to do. But we always work to the pleasure of Mr. President. Yes.
Interesting. Let's finally look at the how to draw the district assemblies along. And I'm asking this question because, yes, we have had them. We have created some new districts and all of that. But the people at the grassroots say, look, because the DC or the MC doesn't answer to us, he answers to the president, we can't even find him. So the pressure comes on those of you who are MPs to come and solve the problems that the DCs should have solved. They are the development agents. How do we change that psyche and draw them along in these 6 new regions so that we can at least be a shining example to the others?
Well, it can only be, it's a matter of policy. The DCs are not elected. They are appointed by Mr. President. Again, if you look at the Local Governance Act,
right,
I think like 936 or so, for the first time, the act that we have has a major part that talks about regional coordinating council, their role and their function. I think it's part 8 of it also.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, and if we really follow it, it's a question of doing what we all have agreed to do in our laws and our regulations. The planning function, the coordination, they have, I think, supervisory functions all there. And they even outline some of the departments and the role they should play. And then the monitor.
IGF and everything
if
else.
the region is really doing that. Because in the first place, the RCC, as we have just already intimated, is the presiding member of an assembly.
Right.
The DC, you are part of the RCC.
Right.
So we all go with your development plans and say, this is what we are going to do. So there's also the argument that with this regions of them being smaller, there should be better supervision. So we can have value for money. You know, the coordinating council should not leave the assemblies to their own destiny. They should be able to look, we say you do this, are you doing this? And getting regular reports supervises them very well.
Some will say, let's go back to the upper regions, Upper East, Upper West. The example was created, Greater Crowd created from the Eastern region. And if you look at the state of development down south and compare that to what happened up north, there's very little that can, because we have chosen to centralize everything down south. What's the plan in trying to move some things up there as well, so the people up north can benefit?
Yeah, exactly. That actually gave rise to these whole petitions and desire to have their own region. One, they say government, they want government to be closer to them, and 2, they want accelerated development. 2 main things that run through all the petitions. Yeah, that's why there's this thinking that we don't need to have many of these government structures in one place.
Okay.
You know, if you have the regional headquarters of feeder roads, where people are there designing, doing this, taking care of roads and quantify and going to supervise, it doesn't have to be where the regional minister is. It can be a different place. You know, the fact that there's a structure there in a geographical area within the district. So if you have that structure, we have bungalows of heads of institutions there to be done. And therefore, we have a feeling that they will understand us, they will know our problems more. All this cry for this. Today, I think about some new districts are being integrated. Yeah, why? There's always a cry for it. Because people think that it means the government is closer to them. So we are saying that, why can't you also look at this idea? And many people have written to Mr. President, and there's that thinking, which is seriously being considered, that shift some of these heads of institutions to certain areas. Then the idea that once you are here, you may by all means government will probably be forced to come close to us or develop that area, and the people will benefit from it.
Right.
You know, and it's also going to improve upon improve upon the existing coordination that is expected of the RCCs. Then the average Ghanaian will feel that yes, government is closer to it,
Right.
and also they will see the development,
Right.
because they set out the example, and Mr. President said that there will be affirmative action. That is why even before the regions were inaugurated, Mr. President calls this immediate developmental needs to be considered.
Okay.
So we are not going to have a situation where after 10 years, 20 years, you see there's no difference in Kenya. It will happen under Mr.
I thank you very much. So it won't happen. That's what he says. The Honorable Dan Kweku Botwe. He is my namesake, of course, and he is the Minister for Regional Reorganization and Development.